Hey guys, welcome to this video on Power BI. In this video we're going to download Power BI together, and then at risk of making my own videos appear particularly below par, I'm going to cheat a bit and just use the videos that are available from the Microsoft Power BI website. So first thing we need to do is open up a new tab. I'm going to say download Power BI. And I'm just going to click this first one, powerbi.microsoft.com/en/downloads. And then we have this Microsoft Power BI desktop one and download. So it's coming up here. As you can see, I already have quite a few of these downloaded onto my system, and that is because Power BI come out with a new version every month, which contains a bunch of new features, visualizations, etc., etc. So I'm just going to click next here. Then I accept the terms in the license agreement. Next, next, create a desktop shortcut, install. And then finish, and I'm going to keep Launch Microsoft Power BI selected. So once it's loaded, you'll see for me it automatically signed in as Ralph Myers, and that's because my organization uses Office 365. You most likely will have a sign in tab here, and so if you click that, you can sign in with your own account if your organization is using Office 365 like Go is. So like I said, Power BI actually have some great introductory videos, so I'm just going to leave you to them now. Enjoy.
You can use the Power BI desktop to connect to data, transform it, model it, and build reports and visualizations to help uncover insights. Once you've installed the Power BI desktop, the best place to get started is just to hit Get Data on this first screen. You'll get a list of all of the different data sources we support. I'm going to choose SQL Server as an example. Just type in the name of the machine you want to connect to. And in this navigator, you can see all of the databases available to me, and I can browse through to the table that I'm interested in. If I select this one, I can either load it directly, or I can choose to edit that query and transform the data as it gets pulled into the Power BI desktop. I've got some really simple data in here, just some information about sales to different segments in different countries and of different products, etc. In this query editor, I can do a whole bunch of different things, adding and removing columns. I can split things up, I can group data in different ways, and I can do a whole bunch of different transformations to shape and construct this data the way that I want to. Actually, it's in pretty good shape, so I don't need to do anything like that. All I'm going to do is hit close and load. We're now going to load that data into the Power BI desktop. Now here on the right hand side, I can see all of the different columns that got pulled in. If I want to start building visualizations, all I need to do is choose the field that I'm interested in and drag it over to the canvas on the left hand side. Let's analyze that by product. And it splits it out for me. I can see the per sale products way outselling anything else. Let's try some different visuals. We support a range of different visualizations. And if I want to insert, for example, a map, just click that icon and now start dragging some fields onto it. Let's take a look at country. And let's look at that again by our gross sales. So now I can see that the USA is probably the place where it's selling the most, followed by Canada, then France and Germany. And maybe let's look at some different visuals. Let's try a donut chart. And for this one, let's again look at our units sold. I'm going to use this area on the right here to control exactly how this visual is made up. But this time, rather than looking at it by product, I'm going to look at it by segment. So we can see we're doing most of our sales in the government area. Finally, we can choose, let's build some details and put a table into here. Let's look at the number of discounts that are being given and which months we were doing our sales in, the products, and let's add a few more of those numeric values as well. Great, I've got a really useful report here. It's got quite a lot of detailed information in it, and I'm just going to save this locally. This is my sales report. And I can also choose to publish this up to the Power BI service from here. I've already signed in, so this will go straight up to Power BI. And when it's finished, I can open it up. And here in the browser, I can see that report that I just published. And this report's really interactive. If I just want to focus on the Paseo product, I click that bar, and I can see everything else gets highlighted to just show me that data. And I can see the same visuals that I created in the desktop appearing here, ready for me to pin to other dashboards or to share with people around my organization. So that's a really quick overview how you can use the Power BI desktop to just connect to data, start modeling and transforming it, and then build some reports that you can publish up to Power BI. Thanks very much. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build reports using the Power BI desktop. I've already connected to some data, and you can see it appear in my field list on the right-hand side here. To start building visualizations, all I need to do is choose the field that I'm interested in. So let's say I want to see our total gross sales, just tick that, and we'll insert a chart for you. I want to split that down by product, and you can see that that gets added as well. I can also choose to grab one of these fields and either drag it onto an existing visualization to add that, or to a blank part of the canvas to create a second visual. With these sort of categorical fields, we'll create a table showing you each of the different values in that field. And I can change the different type of visualization by using this gallery at the top here. Let's just add units sold. And now if I wanted to see that as a bar chart, I could choose and it'll convert into a bar chart. If I wanted to see a pie chart, or if I wanted to see this as a donut, I've got a whole range of different options for me here. If I want to see some totals, for example, I can drag out units sold, and rather than looking at it just in this single bar, I might choose this card view, and that just gives me the top level number for how many units we've sold. If I wanted a map, I could insert one of those and then drag things like country and use this field well here to control exactly how this visual is created. So I can put country into location, and then I want to see our net sales as the value that controls the size of the bubble. This area changes depending on the visualization that you have selected. Let's just squash this up and make some space for a scatter chart. Now for a scatter chart, I've got a whole range of different options. So I can put our gross sales on our x-axis, I can put our net sales on y-axis. Let's split this down by the different segments. And I could even add something like product to the legend to color each of these different bubbles based on the product. So there's a lot of control that I have over the way that the visuals are constructed using this area. I've also got control over the way that the data is filtered here. So I can say if I'm just interested in filtering this scatter chart down to just a particular product, for example, I can expand that and say, you know what, I'm just interested in these top 3 products. I can add more filters by grabbing the field that I'm interested in and dragging it into this filters area. I can choose a visual level filter if I just want to filter this scatter chart, or I can choose a page level filter if I want to filter all of the visuals on my page. So let's say I just want to see the ones, the sales where we didn't give any discount. Let's come in and just tick that one, and all of my visuals update to reflect that. I can also come down and give names to these pages. This is my sales overview. And I can add new pages into my report by clicking this plus button. Let's customize these visuals a little bit further. Let's again take a look at our product and our total sales. And let's use a bar chart again. Now, how about customizing this? I'm looking at gross sales by product, but maybe I want to give this a different title. Well, I've got a whole range of formatting options available to me here. If I come into the title, I can say, well, actually, I don't want to look at this. This shouldn't be our gross sales. This is just a overall sales. And you can see the title gets updated. What about the color of the data points? Well, I can come in and say, actually, you know what? I don't want to use this dark color. I want everything to be blue. Or if I want to color an individual data point, I can come in and say, our Montana product, well, that's red, so I'm going to make that one always red. Our Paseo product is green, so I'm going to make this one always come up as green. I can choose custom colors and either enter a hex code or pick something out of this picker. I can do a whole range of customizations on this visual, from changing the axis scales to turning data labels on and off or customizing the background. So that's a quick overview of some of the ways that you can build and customize your reports using the Power BI desktop. Thanks very much. Let's take a look at how you can connect to data and transform it on the way into the Power BI desktop. I'm going to connect to a web page. In this case, it's the IMDb Top 250 Movies page. I'm going to need this URL in just a few seconds. From the Power BI Desktop Getting Started screen, I'm going to hit Get Data, and as I'm going to connect to a web page, I'll search for web and just choose that data source. Now I need to paste back in that URL. And you can see all of the tables in the HTML page that has been found. Table 0 is the one that I want. That shows me all of the different movies. I'll just select that one and hit Edit. In this query editor view, I can see all of the columns that were found from that web page. I'm actually only interested in these first two, the rank and title and the rating. I'm going to choose to remove the other columns. And I want to split the rank and title up so that I've got separate columns for rank, title, and year. So I'm going to start by splitting that column. And I'm going to use the full stop to do this. And I'm just going to do it once at the leftmost delimiter. Now I've got my rank. And this shows title and year. So I need to split this one again. But this time I'm going to split it on one of the left parentheses. That's title sorted out. And now to just clean up this year column, I'm actually just going to replace that right parenthesis with nothing. That effectively just deletes it from this column. So now my year's sorted. The last thing I want to do is actually add a custom column that shows me the decade that each movie was released. So I'll come to Add Column, choose Add Custom Column, and here I can type in a formula that expresses pretty much anything that I want to transform this data. This is my formula. It just takes the first 3 digits of the year and appends 0s. I'm going to call this decade. I'm done. The last thing I'll do is just name this query. This is our top 250 movies. So I'm finished with this data. I'm going to choose to close and load here. My data is loaded now, and I can see all of those columns over on the right-hand side. So let's take a look at some of these movies. Let's take a look at our title, the average rating, and maybe let's look at this as a bar chart. I probably want to sort this as well, so I'm going to come up and choose to sort it by rating. And I can see that the most popular movie on IMDb is The Godfather, followed by Shawshank Redemption. Let's take a look at some other charts. Well, let's insert a little pie chart, and let's take a look at the decades and the number of movies that were released in each decade. Well, I can see that the 2000s are the most popular movie decade, followed by the 90s. What about those average ratings by decade? Well, let's take another look. Let's take a look at our decade rating again. I want to actually see the average, though, this time. Let's look at this as a line chart. Well, I can see here that the best decade for movies was probably the 1990s, but the 70s were pretty close behind. That was a really quick overview, just showing you how you can connect to data and transform it on the way into the Power BI desktop. Thanks very much.
I hope those videos gave you a good overview on what Power BI is all about and what it can be used for. In terms of our information systems, that's it. It's as simple as that. All we do is use a DDG platform such as Comcare, test it using BlueStacks, and then do our analytics using Power BI. What we'll do in the next 3 tutorials is put this into action and create a super simple application followed by a super simple dashboard. I'll see you there.